You are... Oh, Frances Johnson, who I thought was a woman. Right, there you go. Frances, welcome. Would you like to come forward? Yeah, we've got some others who... We're running slightly ahead of schedule, so a number of people haven't arrived yet, and they're still on their way in, I suspect. So if you'd like to take the chair at the end of the table and present your submission, thank you. Do apologise, it is spelt correctly for a bloke.
So thank you very much for the chance to speak here today. I have a background in mathematics, engineering, politics and economics. I think the principles in the strategy document are great, and many of its recommendations are heading in the right direction, but they don't go nearly far enough. First of all, net zero just isn't enough. To take an example, the CO2 that we put into the atmosphere, say 10 years ago, is heating the Earth now and is causing a lot of suffering around the world, especially to the most vulnerable people. And so planting trees must be seen as a way of undoing that harm that we have already done, not as a way of giving us a licence to have more emissions, when those emissions will stay in the atmosphere for centuries. So this means we have to stop burning fossil fuels altogether, and we have to do that quickly. So that's a really radical change that I don't see, and I don't see that in the plan. That means we have to get used to using a lot less energy. But if the transition is well planned, then we needn't be worse off for that. Regarding cars, we need to take responsibility for the emissions we cause, not just those that are emitted within our city. So that means that EVs aren't a magic bullet because their manufacture causes emissions and environmental problems. So we have to plan for a future with many fewer cars, and the council's spending should reflect this. So what I ask the council to do here is to have a vision of a city with way, way fewer cars, and that therefore the bulk of the transport spending should be aligned with that future. The future that isn't the future is active public transport and a city that's arranged so that a lot less travel is needed. Now, regarding the council-owned companies, they're doing a lot to decarbonise their own operations, but there's a much bigger problem, which is the industries that they enable. The council should not be enabling high emissions industries. So therefore, the council should set a date after which it will not allow coal to be exported through the port of Lyttelton. And that date, I think, should be as soon as possible in the next small number of years. Coal kills, and I think it's immoral that the council is enabling that industry to continue. Christchurch Airport is doing a lot to reduce its own emissions. However, again, the industry it supports is a huge issue. Zero emissions aircraft don't exist yet, and they may never exist. But we need to reduce our emissions now. Therefore, the council must reduce the number of flights that it allows through Christchurch Airport. In fact, the opposite seems to be happening. The airport has a 2040 plan for airport expansion, which is going exactly in the opposite direction to the direction that the climate emergency that you have declared requires. Likewise, the council should cancel all plans for the proposed airport at Terrace. And air travel should be allowed to increase again only if there's proven sustainable aircraft technology. And if such technology uses biofuels, then it must not jeopardise food production by competing for land. Eating is more important than flying. The climate strategy must have a plan to ensure that it can compel council-owned properties to act in the public good, not to enable high emissions industries. So please treat this as an emergency, like COVID. The council must envision radically different ways of living. We can't afford to wait for technological solutions. They may come too late or never. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. And you've come to the end of the presentation, so it's probably a good time for us to take a short recess, and thank you very much for your submission today.
Okay,
thank you.